Welcome everyone, I'm Dory Suka, founder of Inspiration Management, and we have a very exciting topic for you tonight, and it's all about how you can gain financial health so you can step into bigger profit margins. I'm sure all of you went into business to make more money, have more freedom, have a great lifestyle, but sometimes the opposite actually happens. You end up working more stressed. Sometimes you make less money than you thought you would, and that's what we're going to focus on today, is how you can actually have a healthy business that's going to give you the freedom that you went into to begin with. So it's so exciting to be with you, thanks to the Empire team and everything that they do to help the industry as a whole. They teach everybody the clinical skills, we teach everybody the business skills. So tonight, the reason I came up with this program for you is to help you solve many financial challenges. And normally when we start working with someone, some of the things that really jump in the face for us is the fact that many people don't have a good, solid financial plan. And tonight, that's what we're going to focus on, is what are these financial principles that you need to be practicing to ensure that you have a healthy business. The other challenge we often find is a lot of businesses run really without a budget, without knowing their financial situation. And that's very sad. You have to have a budget if you want to have a healthy business. The other thing we come across is there's really no measuring systems in place. A lot of people probably spend more time picking a type of treatment they want to offer and the skincare products they want to offer, instead of focusing on how am I going to measure the results. So all those things usually lead to low profit margins. And that's what we want to do tonight. We want to plump up your profit lines so you can be more comfortable. So I have a question for you. People are still logging on, so if you're with us here for the first time, welcome. And if you're with us and you're already open, please let us know. I have my great team member here, Tara, with me. She's our general manager, and she's gonna be fielding some of your questions or comments. So those of you who are joining us now, I would love to know if you're already open. And those of you who are already open, are you making the profit margin that you really should be making right now? So if you could share with us your profit margin, that would be very good. And if you're not open yet, I want to ask you if you've done your forecasting yet, your financial forecast, to what your financial picture actually is gonna look like. So here's a little fun thing for you. So if a genie came and said, what financial solutions would you ask for? How much money would you want to make? How much profits would you like to achieve? What is really your financial picture look like? What would you say? Well, to me, if you have financial freedom, that means you're extremely successful. You can do whatever you want, when you want it, with whoever you want, anytime you want. And it makes a big difference when you have that freedom. But a lot of times what we find most medical professionals doing is you're trying to be the provider, you're the leader, you're the entrepreneur, you're trying to take care of the team, you're training, you're doing all these things, you're wearing 10,000 hats, and frankly, that's really not the way to go. We all should stick to our expertise and be able to do what we do best. And a lot of times, the financial picture in your business gets a backseat because you're so busy doing what you do that you don't really have time to focus on the financial picture. And that's important. We really want to be able to know exactly what's coming in the business, where it's going, and how much we end up with. So tonight's content, what we're going to go over, first of all, is I'm going to share with you how to set financial goals. Because a lot of people don't even really know, how do I set financial goals? What's your growth strategy? The second thing we're going to talk about are some very important accounting principles that will set you free if you set them up properly to begin with. And that's budgeting, assessing your P&L statement, your profit and loss statement, having a chart of accounts, because what you put into QuickBooks will be able to give you the proper information, so that's very important. And then I'm going to show you how to calculate your financial ratios, because at the end of the day, when the P&L statement comes out at the end of the month, actually, you need to know what those financial ratios are and what they should be actually, and whether you're on the right track or not. And then I'm gonna wrap it up with some mistakes to avoid, and then the choices that you need to make as far as your financial picture. So just a little bit about me. What gives me the right to stand here before you? Well, for the past 20 years, we've been helping medical spas, wellness centers, medical practices achieve the success that they deserve to achieve. I have a book, actually, I have 3 books. I'm about to publish a 4th one. But if you don't have the latest copy of my book, How to Make Millions with Your Medical Spa, make sure that you go to our website, inspirationmanagement.com, and you can download a copy for free, or you can request an actual hard copy if you like. But how I got started in the industry, actually this is my 2nd career. My first career was in the hospitality industry. I used to run a resort for the Wyndham properties in Orlando, Florida. That's where we're based out of. Actually, I'm standing in our studio in Daytona Beach, Florida. During the pandemic, we actually created this studio so we can come live and help people like yourself with their business instead of just doing your typical Zoom meeting that everybody else does. So we decided to really go all out and do this studio. So all of our programs are filmed in here, and we have A to Z business model to help you with your business so you can elevate your success. So that's what we focus on. We help people like yourself implement a proven effective model to help you succeed the fastest way possible. I've traveled the world. I've been everywhere, speaking at conferences. That's really how I met so many of our members, how I meet people like Empire and other business partners that we have. And our whole focus, my team and I, our whole focus is to help you launch or turn around what you already have in place, so you can be super successful. So to learn more about us, you can always go to inspirationmanagement.com and check it out. We have so much information there that you can really benefit from. So let's go ahead and get started with the financial goals and your growth strategies. So how many people are already open, Tara? Have you gotten any replies? People open? Maybe what's the profit margin? Anybody?
I just have a few that are saying that they're not open yet. It looks like most of them are not open yet with the story.
Okay, well, congratulations then. I admire the fact that you're starting a new path. And if you're not open yet, I am so proud of you for attending this so you can avoid costly mistakes that other people have done. So let's start with this though. How should you set your financial goals? I have actually a present for you. And then how much should you expect your business to grow financially, and how much should you expect to actually earn? So let's talk about that. The one mistake I see people make usually is they track the capacity of the team rather than the space capacity. So let's say you have 1 room, 2 rooms, 3 rooms in your facility. Well, to run successfully, you want to maximize the capacity of the room. So let's say you have 3 or 4 rooms, for example, and you may have 2 or 3 team members. Some people would tell me, well, my team is extremely busy. Okay, that's great. But are you filling up all the rooms that you have? So the first mistake people make is they look at the capacity of the team rather than the capacity of the space. And you really need to see the capacity of your space. How much revenue can you generate from each room that you have in your place? That's exactly what you want to find out. And then the other thing that we see that people make mistakes on is that they don't charge enough to make sure that the profit margin is there. Because by the time you pay your expenses, you pay your product cost, you pay your team members, then your profits are depleted if the price is not where it should be. And what most people do is they compete on price instead of competing on expertise. So you want to make sure that you charge enough so you can still pay all these expenses and still make a great profit. So I want to share with you this capacity chart that I'm going to actually give you as a gift. And you can put your email address if you like with Tara in the chat box, and we'll make sure to send this to you. The capacity chart allows you to see your true potential. And the beautiful thing about this is it's self-calculated. All you have to do is put in the number of hours you're going to be open, right? And then put in the capacity that you wish to be operating at. So let's say if you're just starting a business, then initially you're probably going to be about 20% capacity of your space. Then you might go up to 25, and then 30, and then 35, and increase it as you go. So you'll be able to put whatever capacity rate you want in this chart. And then you put in the number of rooms that you have and how much you're averaging per treatment or per department. So let's say you have medical aesthetics, you have body contour, lasers, wellness, sexual health, whatever it is that you have, you can just fill in that information. Then you put in the average price per treatment and how many rooms you have, and then it's going to calculate for you how much money you can make based on this capacity and the hours that you are open per week. So one room, if you have, let's say, an aesthetic room and you're averaging, let's just say facials, $140 a facial, you're going to make $47,000 out of that one room per month based on 65% capacity. So I want you to look at your space or the space you're going to have, and I would like you to picture a dollar amount for each room that you actually have. And when you calculate your capacity, now you have your financial goals. So your place can make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, depending on how many rooms you have and what capacity you want to be operating at. And that's how you should set your financial goals. And you know what? So many people don't do it right. So many people don't have good financial goals. They don't have forecasting of exactly what they want their finances to be like. And that's why I'm so glad you're with us tonight, so we can have this eye-opener and you can avoid those costly mistakes. So we probably have two different people, right? So you have the new businesses and then you have a mature business. And people ask me all the time, well, how much should the business grow, Dory? Well, if you're a brand new business, it's very easy to grow fast because you're going to be making these nice, big, huge steps of increasing capacity, doing the marketing, increasing prices, selling memberships, doing all these great things. So growth is going to come very fast. When you're a mature business, then it may take, the percentage of growth, the more mature you are, the less it is. Like we have a client in New York, Denise Dubois. She has 2 locations in Albany. She's been in business for 30 years. And yet she's still growing at 15 to 20% a year. That's so difficult to do when you've been open for that long, right? Because you reach your maximum capacity and then you can't grow anymore. So have that differentiation between the two. Set your goals and make sure that you're doing right by you and your business. All right, so let's move on to, now that we know how to set goals, let's move on to these financial accounting principles that you need to know. Now, I'm not saying you should do your own accounting. Like, I don't do my own accounting. I have bookkeepers, I have an admin team, I have an accountant, They do all the work. I just look at numbers. So I don't expect you to do the work, but somebody needs to do it. Because if they don't do it, then your business is not going to be very healthy. The first thing you need is a budget. And I'm just shocked of how many people don't have a budget. So we have a budget program for you. And again, please don't take this as I'm trying to sell you something, because if you don't want the easiest way to get to things and not reinvent the wheel, that's fine with me. But I owe it. It's my professional obligation to tell you the tools that are available for you. So the budget is a very important tool, and you gotta have it. You need to forecast, and you need to have spending guidelines. Then the other thing you need to have is a general ledger. Very, very important. Then a chart of accounts, so all your bills are going in the right place. So at the end of the year, when you're doing your taxes, everything is going to be calculated in the right place. The other thing you should have is a cash flow management. What's coming in, what's going out, what is your payroll, what is your accounts receivable, your accounts payable, your purchase orders. All these things are so important, and you have to have them in place. Because if you don't have them in place, then it's a salad. It's the wild, wild west, and you don't want that. And then, of course, at the end of each month, you must have that P&L statement. That's your report card, just like you were in school or you went to medical school. You always had your results at the end of the semester. Did you do an A, B, or a C? Well, that's what the P&L statement is. You need to review that on monthly basis. And if you don't, again, you're operating your business with blinds on. You don't want to do that. You want to be very clear on what you're trying to do. So the most important financial principles that you need is having your budget, your forecast, your goals, what you're trying to accomplish by department. And then you have to have a good compensation model. And that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I see, is most people don't know how to pay their team, and they end up paying a lot more than they should. They pay flat salaries instead of implementing a performance-based compensation model. That's what you should be implementing. And again, those are all the different things. And then, of course, your financial management programs that you need. So those are financial tools that we offer people to ensure financial health. And you really must have them. I just came back from Miami. I actually was down there. It's a plastic surgery center. They do $1 million in plastic surgery a month in Miami. He's an expert in Brazilian butt lifts, and they have a medical spa. And they reached out to us. They actually became members. So we have a membership model like the Empire Group does, and our members have access to all of our tools that we offer, just like you have access with Empire to all the classes that they offer. So they became a member about 2 months ago. And the first thing we do when we bring on a new member is do their financial analysis. And when we started digging on how much they are paying their nurse practitioners, one girl was, when we took the whole year of how much she ended up getting paid between her bonuses, her hourly, her benefits, she averaged 69% of the overall revenue. That's how much she was getting paid. So needless to say, the place was not making any money. So she tells me, oh, but I'm afraid she's gonna leave if I change the compensation. You know what my answer was to her? Please let her leave. Please let her leave, because now she's costing you money instead of making you money. But until you dig into the numbers, you don't know. You don't know. So this is what the budget file that we offer can do for you. It's all pre-formatted again, pre-calculated. You can create your forecasting and your budget in probably an hour. It's an amazing tool. Our members absolutely love it. And you really need that. And it gives you the information by month. So you set everything up. It's a really detailed budget. And you have January, February, March. So at the end of the year, you know exactly what you're shooting for. Your team knows what their goals are going to be, how much you're going to pay them, how much you're going to profit, what your operating costs are. So you have that clarity that you need. And when you do that, you guys, you're going to be so much better off. You're going to have a solid foundation, and your business is going to be healthy. But if you don't have that, you're winging it. If your way to handle your finances is looking in your checking account to see how much money you have, let me tell you something. You're not going to be in business very long. You gotta know. When you know, you'll have the confidence, you'll know where you're going, and you'll be able to have the freedom that you went into business to begin with. Does that make sense? So if you have questions as we're going through, make sure you go ahead and write them in. And if you're not in business already, like we just talked about, I want to show you what those financial ratios should be like and how to really dissect a P&L statement so you have that information that you need. So this is actually one of our clients. So she did, this is their last year P&L statement. She did $3.3 million. I know it's a little hard for you to see, but I'm going to just read the numbers for you. So she did $3.3 million in her place. By the way, people think sometimes that doing $1 million is good. Doing $1 million actually is pretty bad. It sucks. Because if you're doing 10% profit, when you're making $1 million, that means you brought home $100,000. $100,000 is not enough for me to live on. I don't know about you, but that's not good. You need to make at least $2, $3, $4 million. Actually, this client is a member, and she's on track this year to do $5 million. I just had her on Meet the Expert, actually, Dr. Vuich up in New Hampshire. And that's how much she's gonna make this year, $5 million. It's possible. You can do that for sure. But if you look at your P&L statement, so you have your gross revenue first, then you have your cost of goods. And this is what you need to do. You need to figure out the financial ratios. So if you take how much she paid in cost of goods, it's $610,000. So if you take 610 and divide it by 3.3 million, that means her product cost is 18%, right? This is how much it's costing her to do the Botox, the fillers, the lasers, the consumables. Anything that has to do with doing a treatment is going to come out of this. So 18% for product cost is actually very good in a medical spa environment because the product cost and the consumables usually are so expensive. And the reason hers is low is because her prices are high, right? It's all relevant, it's all numbers. Then the next section are your expenses. Excuse me. You want to know how much it's going to cost you in total expenses. That's everything that you pay for, from your rent to your internet, to your telephone, to your software system, to paying a company like mine, to paying Empire, to paying everybody. So her overall operating expenses were $1.6 million. So that comes up to 49%. That includes payroll, that includes everything, right? 49%. But look at this. I am so proud of her because she is generating 30% in profits. That's amazing. That's incredible. Most businesses have a hard time reaching 10%, yet alone to make 30%. That's a healthy business. This is what you want. This is why you're going into business right now. You're not going into business to generate $1 million. You're not going into business to make 100,000. You want to go into business to make $1 million in profits. That's a healthy business, my friends. But you know what? She's an incredible implementer. She followed our business model to a T. She implemented everything. And that's what it takes. It takes a commitment. It takes implementation. It takes a trained team, because you can't do it alone. This is not a one-man shop. This is a full team. So if you're really serious about going in this industry and truly benefiting from it, you gotta do it all the way, or don't do it. Don't do it. You wanna be making $1 million a year. Isn't that incredible? Yes. So this is a real example for you of a place that's doing everything the right way. So if they can do it, so can you. But you know what? So many people have no clarity on their financial picture that their business looks like this bucket. You're putting water in and it's going right out. Not a good situation. That's not what you want. So the whole idea here, when you have a financially secured business, all these holes are plugged. The more water you put into your bucket, the more money you're going to make. And that's what I want for you. Does that make sense? Aren't you guys excited? Yeah? All right. Do we have any questions yet?
We have a comment. We have a member who's actually here with us. And
Yeah?
she's made a comment how she knows she has all of this through her membership
Yes.
portal with us.
Good.
And the fact that we're designing her website and her logo.
Good.
So she's so excited to be with us.
Well, this is what you have to look forward to, right? This kind of success. And that takes the commitment on your part. So we can give you all this information, but it's really up to you to implement it. We can help you implement it, but it really takes a commitment on your part for sure. All right, so when you assess your P&L statement, just like I did, you want to figure out those financial ratios that I just shared with you. You want to look at last year versus this year. So we're in the middle of the year now, right? We just finished June. So I just ran our numbers. And our business, thank God, through the efforts of my team, because again, I can't do it alone, we're up 52% over last year. And you know what? Last year we did not miss the beat because we had our membership model. So we did not experience that dip that many people did. As a matter of fact, we worked harder during the pandemic with our members to make sure that they're making money, even though they were all shut down. We took their business online and they were selling like crazy. So that's what I want for you. You want to look at last year versus this year and how much you are actually growing. Now, if you're a brand new business, then again, we're going to go by the capacity chart. We're going to forecast what we want to do and then measure it against your forecast. And then once you have some historical data, then you can go from last year to this year. Makes a big, big difference. And then, of course, you want to check it against the budget. Make sure that you are exceeding what you actually budgeted. And that's very exciting when you do that. That means you're doing everything right. And then, of course, you want to check things against your chart of accounts and make sure that everything is being calculated properly. So at the end of the year, when you do your taxes, you have all your deductible items, your expenses, everything is in order. When you have a organized financial picture, you know exactly what you need to do to adjust for certain financial situations. But if you don't, again, you're really operating blindly, and that's not a good thing. All right. So for your chart of accounts, I drive my team crazy. Actually, one of our financial key players is sitting over here watching me. Hi, Ronnie.
Hi.
And I drive them crazy with my chart of accounts. So, they go through all of our expenses and I just review them. They do all the work. I don't do it. And I just say, did this go to the right account? How about this expense? Are we making sure that we're doing this right? And that's what you should be doing. You're just spot checking what the team is doing to just ensure that everything is being done accurately. That's the only thing you should do. I don't expect you to be sitting in front of QuickBooks and doing your financials. As a matter of fact, Ronnie just helped one of our members create the chart of accounts in QuickBooks. We can actually do that for you because nobody knows how to do this like we do. So we actually have an entire chart of accounts of what exactly your financial picture should look like. And she sat with this client and they just basically set up her entire QuickBooks, so she didn't have to do it. Now all we have to do as the expenses come in, just put them all in the right places, and then you have proper reporting at the end of the month. Wouldn't that be nice? That's what we're talking about. Being organized, being on target, knowing exactly what's going on, so you have a good financially healthy business. It's also good. Yeah. I know numbers are not very sexy. A lot of people don't want to pay attention to their financials because it's boring, right? I mean, have you ever met an accountant who was fun? Ronnie. She's the only one. I'm cracking up. We had a glass of wine with dinner. And I'm teaching finances, so go figure. Michael is probably wondering, what the heck is Dory doing? Oh, okay. So anyway, you definitely need to have your QuickBooks, and QuickBooks needs to be communicating with your software system, so that way at the end of the month you're configuring everything correctly. And that's really what you should do. Now a lot of people say, well, do I really need QuickBooks if I have my software system? Yes, you do. Because your software system is not an accounting system. You need QuickBooks for your accounting to make sure that you're doing things properly. All right. Okay, how are we doing? Doing good?
Yeah.
Okay, so the ratios, the financial alignments that we're talking about, there's 4 things you need to be monitoring. And that's your compensation. How much are we paying out? So out of each dollar that comes into your business, how much of it is going to compensation? And no more than 35%. That's even a little bit high. Really, you should be at about 30% or even lower, because it depends on if you have a performance-based compensation model, then your compensation is going to be reduced because you're only going to be paying the higher compensation if they actually generate more revenue for you. So then the other thing that you need to look at is your expenses, and that's again your rent and all your other expenses besides the compensation. You have your product costs, and then you have your profit. So out of each dollar that comes into your place, you should be making at least 15 cents on the dollar. Now the example I showed you, she's making 30 cents on the dollar, which is absolutely incredible. And that's what I really want for you. If you can make 30 cents on each dollar after you've paid everything, you're definitely on the right track. But you need to monitor those financial ratios. So at the end of the month, when that P&L statement comes out, you need to figure out these percentages and see exactly where you are, because we want you to be as healthy as possible, for sure. All right, so if you were to assess your financials right now, whether you're already in business or whether you're just now opening, if you're just opening, do you have your financial picture already set up? And if you're already in business, where are you? Would you give yourself an A, a B, a C, or a D when it comes to the finances? Are you making money, or are you playing the price war games, trying to see if you can be the cheapest because you think you can attract more people? It's amazing to me how many people don't get paid their true worth because the prices are too low. We just got a new member, and when we were reviewing their pricing, they're selling Botox as $10 a unit. Like, you can't make any money selling Botox at $10 a unit. And I always get this answer, well, we do Botox cheap because we want the people to come in. What the heck is that? What do you mean? You do it because we want people to come in? No, you should have good marketing strategies to bring people in, because what happens when you do the Groupons or you cheapen yourself, what you're doing is you're actually attracting the people that are always looking for deals. They have no loyalty. They end up leaving you anyway because you just offered a good deal, and that's not a way to run business. It's not at all. So what you want to do is you want to increase your prices. You want to charge your true worth. The place I was just at in Miami, they're charging $15 a unit for Botox, and that's how much you should be at. And then I get people that tell me, but you know, we want to be competitive, or our area, people will not pay that price. Baloney. They will, because if you're the expert, they'll pay you. And that's the biggest problem we see right now with the financial picture, is that you're not charging enough to make the profit that you deserve. Because why? Because you want to compete on price. Not a good idea. I would rather be the most expensive than to be the cheapest, because then I know I'm going to be attracting the people that can afford what I offer, and they don't have to be nickeling and diming me to death, right? So here's how we set up our discounting. So we teach the membership model, right? I mentioned to you, like Empire has a membership that you belong to. We have a membership program with our mastermind group. Any healthy business should have a membership model. So we teach you how to set up a membership model. And when you have the membership model, that should be the only time you offer a discount. They need to become a member, right? And then you give them the best pricing. And we have members in our group that generate 6 figures a month just for their membership. We're not talking about new business. We're not talking about anything like that. Just people paying you monthly, every single month, between $250 to $500 a month, that they're coming back every month to get treatments from you. When you do that, that's the only time you should be discounting, is for your VIP members. So if somebody comes to you and say, do you have a sale or do you have promotions? You say, yes, we have the most amazing promotions. It's the VIP program that we offer. When you become a VIP member, we offer you the best pricing. If you're not a member, you're welcome to come in anytime, but you'll be paying the a la carte price. So it's up to you. You can become a VIP member and save up to 20%, or you can spa a la carte and pay the full price. The choice is yours. And that's how you should position your discounting. When you do that, now you have a healthy business, because you don't have to keep running promotions, you don't have to keep making sales, you don't have to keep discounting. Now you have positioning. You have good financial positioning, and that's really what we want to do.
We have someone that's commenting, unfortunately, $9.99 for Botox is the going rate in their area, and Groupon facilities are charging $7.99.
Yeah, they'll be out of business too. Don't you dare follow that. Don't. So I have an example for you. So we had this client in Texas, and this has been about 2 years ago. And it's a perfect example of what you're talking about. So they were charging $10 a unit. So we do the financial assessment, and we have our first coaching call, and I'm digging into their pricing, and I find out that's what she's charging. And of course, everything was at a reduced price. So I said, okay, the first thing we need to do is start charging more for Botox. And that's exactly what she told me. She said, but Dory, that's what everybody charges in my area. I'm like, okay, now you're part of our community, and we have different philosophy. We don't believe in being the cheapest, and we don't believe in competing on price. I need you to raise your price. So after going back and forth, she finally agreed to raise it $1. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let you raise it just $1, but know that in a couple weeks we're gonna raise it again. So she goes, she raises it $1. We get on our next coaching call, and I say, so how did it go? She's like, oh, everything went fine. Everybody paid it. I said, great, let's raise it again. So we raise it again. Comes back a few weeks later. What happened? Oh, everybody is okay. They paid it. Okay, let's raise it another $1. So we went from $10 to 13 to 14. You know what happened in her area? On the following coaching call, she's like, you know what I'm noticing, Dory? I said, what? She says, everybody in my area is raising their prices now. She set the new standards. And that's what you can do. If you play the price war games, my friend, there's always going to be some fool that's going to charge less. You will never win that game. That's why you cannot compete on price. You need to compete on expertise instead. Because when you're the best of the best, you can charge whatever you want. Could you imagine Saks Fifth Avenue or Neiman Marcus charging the same prices for a jacket that Walmart charges because they don't want to compete on price? I paid $2,000 for an Armani jacket. I can go to Target and buy one maybe for $89, but do I want to? No. So it's up to you. You decide what your true worth is. And there are people out there that will pay what you're asking if you deliver the best experience possible, you give them great results, and provide great value. People will not question price. So it's your mindset that you need to change. You're with me?
That same person just commented and said, I couldn't agree with you more, Dory.
Praise the Lord. Yes, that's what we need to do. So if we start setting those standards and train your team and deliver that great experience where everybody on your team looks the part, walks the walk, and talks the talk. When somebody answers the phone, if it's super professional, if it's the Ritz-Carlton experience, the place I stayed at in Miami I was paying $900 a night to stay at the Ritz-Carlton. I could have stayed somewhere else, but I like that experience. And that's what you want to do. You want to attract the kind of people that are willing to pay for great experiences. So don't compete on price. Assess your financials, see where you are. If you're not at least an A and a B and you're making at least double digits in profits, you definitely need to make some changes. You need to raise your prices, elevate the experience, train the team, and deliver. Deliver. And people will come. People will come. All right, so let's wrap up with some mistakes to avoid. If you don't have anybody in charge of accounting, that's a big mistake. Now, we do have some services that we offer. As I mentioned, we have financial team members here that can help you with your entire financial picture. So make sure you reach out. We'll be happy to just set you up, or we can actually continue with a monthly program for you. You need a good software system that communicates with QuickBooks. You need to have that monthly financial reporting. Make sure you review it. If you don't have a budget and a forecast, you must, for sure. Don't price your treatments too low, and then not realizing the value of your time is a huge mistake. What we find sometimes entrepreneurs doing is they end up doing some jobs that are below their grade level of pay, and that's a no-no, because your time is so valuable. The last thing you want is to be doing types of jobs that other people can be doing for you, so you can focus on the bigger picture of what a true entrepreneur should be doing. Actually, that's going to be a big topic of our next mastermind meeting that we have coming up next month. I'm super excited. We're going to go over all kinds of things to make entrepreneurs more effective with their time, because that's one thing I see that's a big mistake most entrepreneurs make, is they end up doing jobs that have no business doing. They need to stop. And one other thing about competing on price, I wanted to mention this. The other thing we're doing next month is a book writing seminar where we help you become a published author. And when you become a published author, you can automatically raise your prices. Because think about it, if I'm searching on the internet and I'm searching for the best place to go get injectables, let's say, and I go to one website, and it's your typical website that everybody has, and then I go to one of our members' website, and I see that they've written a book, they have articles, they have videos, they have case studies, they have before and after pictures, they have all this proof. It's all about social proof today, right? So when consumers come to your site and they see that you've written a book on injectables, who are they going to go to? Are they going to go to the one that has nothing like everybody else, or am I going to go to the one that's differentiating? Big difference between the two. So you can go to becomepublished.com if you like. That's a website that we offer for publishing your book, and you can join us maybe next month for the book writing seminar. It's an amazing experience. You would love it. We have helped hundreds of people get their books published. So come and see us. We'll help you improve your positioning. So, all right. So you have some choices to make here. I went over some information here. You can either decide to keep operating blindly, or you can wise up and start really taking care of the financial picture and make sure that you have somebody helping you to do it. And once you figure out your true worth, your true time value, then you realize that it'll be much cheaper for you to hire someone like one of our team members here to take care of that than you wasting your time trying to figure out QuickBooks. Again, that's not something that I do, nor do I want to learn it. She can tell you. It's like, no, I don't even want to know how to turn on QuickBooks. So if you want different results, you have to take different actions. And the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. So you really want to be wise about your financial picture. So we have this program that we offer for financial reporting to really help you, at least set you up for success. And then if you want us to help you the rest of the time, we can also do that for you. So either way, you can reach out to one of my team members and they can give you more information about it. So if you implement what we talked about today, you're gonna feel like so free. It's so good to know that you have all your finances in order. Doing taxes at the end of the year will be a breeze when you have your financial picture in order. So if you don't know what you need or where to start, we offer these success planning sessions. It's complimentary. You can get on a Zoom meeting with one of my team members. We can learn a little bit about your business, find out where you are right now, whether you're starting or you're already in business, and then they can make recommendations for you as to which is the best way for you to get started and help you out. And that's really our goal. And the reason we team up with people like Empire is to be able to help you with everything that you need, from marketing to implementing the business model to having the consultation process to recommending retail products. Literally, we have like the A to Z process on how to operate a business successfully. So that's all I have for you tonight. We have about 7 minutes for some questions here, and we'll take it from there. So do we have some questions, Sarah?
Yes. Also, just so they know, I put the link straight to the success planning session for
Right.
easy access. But someone is asking, when you were talking about the client that commented about how you told them to raise the prices,
Mm-hmm.
did you have them announce it publicly every time? And if they should raise their
No.
prices, what would you recommend?
No,
to go
there's
about
no
doing
reason
that?
to announce it publicly. Like, so what happens when you go to Publix grocery shopping? Do you think Publix sends out an email saying, we're raising the price for milk? What happens when you go shopping at any store? Do you think they're going to send out a memo saying, oh, we raised our prices? What is that? No, we don't do that. They come in, we do the consultation, we give them a quote, and it's either they want it or they don't. No, we don't need to announce anything. No need.
Would you recommend if to fix their financial picture, do they just need to get the budget and the VPG, the compensation mix, or is it more beneficial for them to get all of our tools?
Well, I mean, usually people need help with more than just finances. And what we find, the ideal member for us are people who are eager to do well. They just need guidance. And that's what our tools will allow you to do. So if you want to start with the financial tools, it's actually much cheaper to become a member in the long run and gain access to all the tools rather than just buying a little, product here and a product there. So you might want to go to inspirationmanagement.com, go to the coaching tab, and click on the Flying High program. And on that page, you're going to see all the benefits that you will get from being a member. It is so worth it. I mean, the amount of information and guidance and the business model that we give you access to, you will just set yourself free and truly have the proper positioning to just make your business soar. We have so many success stories. You can go on our YouTube channel. We have over 100 testimonials from people just like you saying how great they found our tools to be. So you don't have to take our word for it. Just go and watch. It's amazing. But we like to work with people who are ready to make a change. I don't want to take your money and then sit back and do nothing. That's not what we want. I want you to be our next success story. And we will do everything we can to help you succeed. And that's why I think being a member would definitely be the most economical way for you to go.
And that goes along with someone is asking, how easy is it to implement the tools in an existing business that you have?
Oh my gosh.
Versus someone who's starting from scratch?
We do both all the time, no matter where you are now, whether you are brand new or whether you're an existing. So if you're an existing, what we do is we start with an assessment first. It's a real in-depth assessment from your financials to your marketing, to your team, to your systems. And we really drill down to see what are you doing now? What are the results that you are achieving? And then how can we bring in the business model that we want you to implement and make a difference? I'll just give you another example. Julie Carrigy, she's actually a trainer for Allergan too. She has 2 locations, actually just opened up her 3rd location. And she's a member. And she implemented just a couple of things the first year she was with us. One of them was the consultation process that we teach. She was able to increase her business over the previous year by $1.2 million, just implementing a couple of things. That's the kind of results that you can achieve by implementing the tools that we offer. So it doesn't really matter. It's a matter of you. What is it that you want to achieve? And then taking what we provide you with, implement it, and then enjoy the results. It's like following a recipe. That's really all it is. We're good?
I think we're good, Dor.
All right. So Michael maybe come on. So make sure you go to our website, you guys, and reserve that success planning session. And if you need some financial advice, you can always reach out and ask for Ronnie or Tara, and they can set you up with a success planning session, and we can help you get your financial picture at least under control.
Yeah. Dora, you take care of so many of our members. I know we have so many people that are inquiring about inspiration and just kind of using your knowledge and whatnot. So, no, seriously, thank you so much for hopping on. It's always so informative with you, so really thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great evening, and until next time, stay inspired.